Last week, I decided to get a new iPhone after several years because my old one was having connection issues and freezing up. And at the same time, there was a shiny new offer from my carrier. On my way to the store, I was feeling happy and excited, or so I thought. I did a little introspection and realized it was more like relief that some of my digital difficulties would be alleviated. I never wanted a smartphone to begin with. I went through all of primary and even college education without a phone or a computer. I bought my first laptop in my late 30s. I was considering then how we all got here and reminded me of a famous remark attributed to Henry Ford, the industrialist and founder of Ford Motor Company. It was, if I had asked people what they wanted, they would have said faster horses. Since that quote didn't really enter public consciousness until like 50 years after his death in the late 90s, appearing mostly in business and marketing literature, it's likely apocryphal, but it really serves to perpetuate a myth of innovative leadership. This concept is often celebrated as a triumph of entrepreneurial vision over consumer ignorance about what they, the consumer, really need to be happy. The prevailing narrative that humanity collectively drives technological advancement overlooks the significant influence of hegemonic powers like governments, corporations, and technocratic elites whose interests are predominantly served by continuous techno acceleration and techno feudalism, even in which a few tech companies have funneled all the traffic into a handful of sites that they control rather than the former virtual frontier of countless individual web addresses that you could go visit. All this at the expense of the well-being of the community and Mother Nature. People adapt to new inventions, sure, but not because these inventions all solve our true problems, prompting them all to be inevitably dreamed up into mere material existence, but rather society is pushed into frameworks where adaptation becomes necessary for survival. One must own a smartphone now, in the sense it will be more of a problem if you don't. It's necessary to simply participate in modern society, like accessing jobs, education, communication, transportation, even basic identity. Global screen time is around 7 hours daily and vexingly much higher for certain younger demographics. By masking coercion behind convenience and dependency behind innovation, consumers aren't authentically craving their devices with genuine interest in their digital messages, digital likes and comments and followers and entertainment and games and other content, but rather we're all coping with a world engineered precisely to demand these devices with compulsive use, less about our deep desire, but deep deprivation and a normal response to loneliness and time poverty. With such high demand for your productivity and your attention, the rise of mindfulness and meditation has been framed as a solution, a way to recharge, reset, and return to work with renewed focus. Hence, we have evidence based and well branded programs like mindfulness based stress reduction, which by its very name implies that you do it for a thing. And that's how it fits neatly into the system without threatening the system, because now it's another product that makes you productive. And it's totally controlled, of course, by the elites academically, the means of production, how it is taught, and how it's regulated, and when one would become certified. I'm not arguing it can't or shouldn't reduce stress. I'm saying mindfulness is so much beyond that, and more so before that, before it was a productivity hack. If our addiction to modern technology and this rapid pace of life is more about coping with an artificial environment than fulfilling our heart's desire, like the rat in a cage that always chooses drug laced water until it overdoses, in contrast to the free rat in nature, which rarely drinks the intoxicant and never ODs, then true presence and our open awareness in our own bodies is not a break from reality, but a break to it, not a pause from so called real life, but a pause to real life. And mindfulness itself is a rebellion, a quiet revolution, a decolonizing practice, and spiritual disentanglement from the false narrative of optimization, the myth of urgency, and the cult of busyness that we're all bred into from birth. It's uncommodifying this moment, a reversal or a returning, a recovering of our natural rhythm and attunement to breath, body, and being. I'll end by saying mindfulness or meditation is not one more thing we got to do. It's a personal limit on the doing less and being more. At first, during formal practice, but then as a way of life. When we set a boundary on the extraction and the harvesting of your mind and its units of attention, mindfulness is to inhale the truth and exhale your boundaries. That in this moment, I will not feed the machine with my attention, nor anxiety with urgency, nor mistake motion for meaning.